Welcome, everybody, once again to the Shipwreck Podcast. I am your host, Bobby Ship. Today I got an exciting show. Wanted to do a little catch-up show. If you're on, once again, thank you for joining the channel. Please, if you get a chance, please. It's I understand you're watching it on YouTube, or if you're watching it on Facebook, preferably. Please go to the YouTube channel and go on there and like and subscribe and actually watch it from there. I want to eventually migrate everything over to YouTube. But for right now, we are here. We are live, and it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a real good one. We're going to be just, like I said, once again, I just wanted to catch up with people on the couch and get our see what everybody been up to, you know. I do have some subjects that they want to touch. So with that being said, let's start to get this thing on the road. First subject I wanted to talk about, I think last week's pod was really interesting. We talked about blended families, and that's what the pod was about. It was about all blended families, and it was excellent. I think it was I know it was therapy for my wife and I, my daughter as well. I think it was a good couch session. We got a chance to sit on the couch and talk and be real and be honest. And that's the best thing about this pod is we are a community. Like I said before, this isn't just my show. This is our show. And I thank each and every one of y'all for coming on and watching. So so when I seen this video, this first video I'm gonna show, and I'm gonna show it a few times just in case we get some latecomers to it. It just really moved me a little. It moved me a lot, actually. It was just, wow, what would I have done if I was in that situation? What would I have done? And I honestly, still even to this day, not 100% sure. So like I said, we're going to start talking about the blended family squabble that happened. It's the video's only a few minutes long. Again, anybody, if you want to get in, I put the link into the messages already. If you want to just get in, the invite is already there. So let's go ahead and watch this first video and move on from there.
Your boy. Should I say our boy? That ain't our shit. That's my motherfucking son. That's my motherfucking son. You don't got no business. Hey, barbershop. I told you that. I told you that shit. 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 It's your first time.
Hey, let me go ahead and call this mama real quick and we go ahead and get to the bottom of it.
All right, you go ahead and you do that. And she better say the right shit, because if she don't, I'm about to get you swinging in this. On God. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever.
I'm trying to poke you, man.
Yo. Ass not answering the phone, huh? Ass probably well, I thought ass.
Hey, bro.
Man.
Like I told you.
Hey,
get him out your phone.
That's not your motherfucking son. That's my motherfucking son. This one want to be Russell Wilson so motherfucking bad. This one want to be Russell Wilson so bad. Well, you don't even got to see how.
Hey, bro, you doing too damn. Hey, bro.
I need all this little fight.
Nigga, bro. Go on and get up out of here.
Hey, she said I answered the phone, huh?
Hey, bro. All right. I'm really showing you. You're doing too damn much.
Yeah, all right. Oh, out here. Hey,
like I said, watch your motherfucking time.
Ain't your motherfucking son.
Hold on. Hey, Keisha.
Keisha.
Hey, Keisha. Hey, can you up in here trying to take Sean with him?
Let me get a little closer. Try to hear
What?
You ain't taking her nowhere until you pay your child support.
What? Child support? That little bitty ass shit? I can pay that shit right now on God.
Do it then.
child support.
Slap shit out your ass.
Do it.
Hey, take that aside, man.
Hey, Keisha, gonna really let this disrespect me in front of my motherfucking son? With your thought ass?
Oh, man.
Hey, fuck all that. Hey, I'm getting my motherfucking son we going. Hey, Mike, I appreciate you, but I need my son. I need my son. I need my son. Hey, let's wrap this shit up. I need my fucking son, man. Give me my motherfucking son. Hey, don't kill my son no more. I'm gonna the shit out your ass. Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Come on, like shit, man.
Yeah, all right. Let's go. All right.
Man, you gonna let him take him like that? Come on, Russell. Was you letting him take?
Hey, man, it's his son. It's his son. Man. I ain't trying to fight.
Oh, man, this man.
Yeah, yeah, he took it.
All right, so that's the end of the video. Wow, so many things. First off, I'm gonna address the biological father. I see a man that's hurting, and by no means am I making excuses for him, because number one, the victim in this thing, above all, is the child. The fact that he had to be there to witness his father and somebody else that obviously cares for him in a disagreement and an argument about him. So who knows how often or how much he has actually heard already. But to see the father that upset, I see a man that's hurting, but I also see an insecure man, to be completely honest with you. I hearken back to the days when I was raising my kids, and there was times where, you know, my ex wife, their mom got married again and had boyfriends and stuff like that, and I made it a point to not only meet them but to try to have a good relationship with them until I couldn't. For one, I would say, but that was important to me. You know, like I told them, if you can teach my kids something that I don't know, that's a blessing for them. You know, I truly do believe it takes a village, and I truly do believe that anybody that's doing anything positive for your kids can definitely is a positive thing in and of itself. So that's the first thing that I noticed, is a man hurting. Second thing, about the bonus dad and how he handled it, I got mixed emotions on it, because for one, I understand that the dude was hurting, the bio dad was hurting and everything, but he was extremely disrespectful. Extreme disrespectful. Not just to him as a man, but to his woman as well, you know? And it would have been very, very hard for me not to dig in his ass. And it'd have been very hard. Just that's the first thing that I would say. So someone asked, was that the first haircut? I don't think so. The son looked about I don't know, 3-ish. I'll play the video again so we can all see again for the latecomers, because the pod just did start. So let me go ahead and play the video again, and then maybe we can discuss some more. Maybe somebody jump online as well to talk about it. So here we go, watching the video once again.
Your boy.
Should I say our boy?
Ain't not shit. That's my motherfucking son. That's my motherfucking son. You don't got no business. Hey, barbershop. I told you that. I told you that shit. 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 It's your first time.
Hey, let me go ahead and call his mama real quick, and we gonna get to the bottom of it.
All right, you go ahead and you do that. And she better say the right shit, because if she don't, I'm about to get you swinging in this. On God. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever.
I'm trying to poke you, man.
Yo. Ass not answering the phone, huh? Ass probably well, I thought ass.
Hey, bro.
Man,
Like I told you,
hey,
get him out your son.
That's not your motherfucking son. That's my motherfucking son. This you want to be Russell Wilson so motherfucking bad. This you want to be Russell Wilson so bad. When you don't even got the CL.
Hey, bro, you going to them? Hey, bro.
You know, little fight.
Hey, he said I answered the phone, huh?
Hey, bro, all right. I'm really sure you're going to
Yeah, all right. Oh, out here. Hey,
like I said, watch
I think the audio was off. I'm gonna actually rewind this, guys, because I think the audio was off. I think the audio was off, so I'm gonna actually rewind this so we can watch it one more time. Sorry for the technical difficulties. So let's watch it one more time. I think the audio is actually fixed now. If you guys can comment and let me know if you can hear it, I appreciate it. Thank you.
Your boy. Man, shit, that's my motherfucking son. That's my motherfucking son. I told you that. I told you that shit. 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 So first,
hey, let me go ahead, call this woman real quick, and we gonna get to the bottom of it.
Are you going to do that? And she better say the right shit, because she gone, I'm about to get the swing in it. On God, yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever. Yo. Hey, that's not answering the phone, huh? Hey, that's probably what I thought I asked.
Hey, bro.
Man,
like I told you,
get him out your phone.
That's not your motherfucking son. That's my motherfucking son. This want to be hustling so motherfucking bad. This want to be hustling so bad. Well, you don't even got to see out.
Hey, bro, you going to them? Hey, bro.
Need all this up.
Hey, she said I answered the phone, huh?
Hey, bro, all right. I'm really sure you're right, bro.
Yeah, all right. Oh, out here. Hey,
like I said, watch your mouth for the time.
ain't your motherfucking son.
Hold on. Hey, Keith. Hey, Keith. Hey, can you up here trying to take Sean with him?
What?
You ain't taking her nowhere until you pay your child support.
What? Child support? That little bitty ass shit, I can pay that shit right now on God.
Do it then.
Fine, shit out your ass.
Hey, take that aside, man.
Hey, Keisha, you gonna really let this disrespect me in front of my mother and son? So fat ass?
Oh, man.
Hey, call that. Hey, I'm getting my motherfucking son. Hey, Mike, I appreciate you, but I need my son. I need my son. Hey, let's wrap this shit up. I need my motherfucking son, man. I want this. Give me my motherfucking son. Hey, don't keep my son no more. I'm gonna slap the shit out your ass. Yeah, all right. Yeah, all right. Let's go. All right.
Man, you gonna let him take it like that?
Shit out your ass.
Come on, Russell. Was you letting him take?
Hey, man, it's his son. Man. I'm going. I ain't trying to fight. Yeah, he took it.
All right, so that's the end of it. Easy, welcome to the couch. Like I said, this video gave me a bunch of emotions, man. I don't know if I made a hold that restraint, to be honest with you. I appreciate him for doing that for the baby,
Yeah. So it's a lot of stuff that we don't know on this, because he said, I told you already, right?
Yeah.
So it was like something like it came up and he was like, no, I don't want you to do it, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, he came in, he was hot, and then old boy got a little slick with it and he said, our son, right?
Yeah. That was his shot. Yeah, that was his shot across the bow. That was his shot, definitely.
Old boy was locked and loaded. He was just ready to swing. He was ready
to swing. To swing. But clearly, like I said, number one was the insecurity from the bio dad from the jump. To me, is what I seen. Even like I said, I've been in that situation as a man, and like a little background, when my kids was playing pee-wee football and basketball. Pee-wee football I didn't know much about, so I let my ex's boyfriend took care of all of that. You know, he did that one, and I think I helped out a little bit. You know, as a father. You know.
Yeah.
Excuse me. But the basketball team, I was the assistant coach. He was the coach. I was the assistant coach. You know what I mean? So like, I'm totally fine with it, because I'm secure as a man and as a father to know, shoot, this don't bother me. My kids don't play sports. Let's go. You want to teach? You want to help them? Let's go. You know, so that to me is a big thing. The insecurity that he has as a father. I think it's some tidbits in there when she said one of the things too. She said, "You didn't step up. He stepped up and took care of him." You know, I told you 2 years ago, something like that. She said, which means this is an ongoing thing. So I don't care if you tell him he can't go take him to get even if he said you can't get him a haircut, I gotta go take him to get a haircut. If you only around every 2 months,
yeah,
nah, and he woofing, he gonna go get a haircut.
Right. Yeah, so yeah, I couldn't really hear what she was saying, but yeah, it's a whole bunch there, right? And then it said pay child support. He's like, oh, that little bit, like,
yeah.
well, if it's so little, why you ain't paid it already?
Yeah, why you behind?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other guy, it was just funny how they were in the background. He was like gassing it up, like the guy was like instigating it, like, oh, he's trying to
Russell, that's what you're gonna do, Russell Wilson. That's what you're gonna say, Russell Wilson. You know,
that's what he said, Russell Wilson.
Yeah, that's what he called. Yeah, and the father just said the same thing. So you want to be Russell Wilson so bad, but you son about Ciara. But like I said, he definitely, the bio dad was itching to fight and trying to create the fight simply too by the fact of him, like I said, disrespecting the father and disrespecting the mom. She probably out there hoeing, doing this, that, and the other. He was definitely.
Oh yeah. She out there she thought, or whatever he said.
Yeah. He was definitely trying his best to instigate the situation.
Mm-hmm.
So how would you think you would have handled it? As let's go to our three. The bio dad, if you came in and seen your son in there, your daughter, and getting her hair done at the hairdresser, as the bonus dad, and if that was, your lady taking the kids to go get their hair done, and your ex came in flipping like that.
I hate I missed the blended cast, but
yeah.
So first of all, as me, and then with my daughters, and I've been in a situation, well, not in that situation where my daughters had a stepdad, so that was, he was a great guy. I never had no issues with him. Again, if something happened like that, that's not in my nature to do that. I'm just gonna go in and say, hey, let me get my son. Mm-hmm. All that extra he was doing, that's because he wanted to fight the guy. Because he could have just easily said, like he said at the end, hey, let me get my baby. You all right? And the boy, what he gonna say? That's his son. He can't stop him from taking his son. Like, hey, let me get my son. And this is, we talk, this is not what happened. So you move him out. But I would never, if somebody's taking care of them, doing, like you said earlier, the bonus mom, bonus dad, or whatever, if they're doing the right thing, how can you be mad about it, right? And it goes back to your insecurities. If I'm mad about something that they're doing positive in my child's life, that just reflects on my insecurity. That's all it is. So I've never been that insecure, right? So I can see what it is, what it's for. So that's my take on that one. With the other guy, he's still down. I don't think he could have. The other dude was ready to take him, right? He was ready to take him. I don't think he could. That dude was ready. He was ready.
Yeah, he was ready.
He's still down, and he, like, hey, let's clear it up with her, or let's go outside. I would have been like, hey, can we talk outside?
Yeah.
And let's clear this up. It ain't got to be a show for everybody. So the whole thing is, there's none of that would have been in my character to do. So I can't relate to none of that.
Yeah, me either.
Yeah, I can't relate to it.
All right. If anybody else got anything they'd like to add to the pod, you're welcome to join in. And I guess he'll say she agreed with you, Eddie. I would have did the same thing. I would have asked to step outside. If I was the bio dad, and like I said, it got to the point where one of my kids, somebody that was in their life, that I was like, he can't be around my kids no more. But if that situation would have happened where he took them to get their haircuts, I would have took him outside and we would have had to talk. And I actually would have been calling his mom. You know what I mean? That's what I would have been calling.
Yeah.
But I would have tried my best to make sure that the kids wouldn't know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? Like, and they finish their haircuts, and then shoot, I'll probably pay for it. Like, don't worry about it, I got it. Mm-hmm. And thanks, and then going about my way, because that's just the way I am. I don't want them being involved. But there was a time where I stepped out of my character, and I was like that bio dad. I was ready to kick somebody's ass in front of my kids. And so I understand that, but it was bigger than them getting haircuts at the time. Yeah. So as the bonus dad, if that would have happened, I would have did the same thing like you said. Let's go outside. Let's talk about it. I would have said at least to him, yo, let him finish get his haircut. Like, how you gonna take the boy in the middle of his haircut? Like, what are you doing there? You know what I mean? But I would let him take his son, obviously. But it'd have been, I'd have been want to get on his ass like later. While the kid here, we ain't gonna do nothing. But we're gonna have some words later. We definitely gonna have some words later. It wouldn't be, nah, next time I see you, we cool. We gonna have some words because you disrespecting me, you disrespecting my lady. We gonna have some damn words.
Absolutely. And the other part was, that's why I was asking, was it the first haircut? Because that is a moment for a dad. You know, I don't even have a son, but I know that is a milestone for a dad to take his son to get the first haircut. Now as you said, she's been asking you for 2 years, so I'm like, wait a minute, the baby ain't a haircut too. But I don't think it was his first one because he probably would have said that multiple times, right?
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
that's different. I still wouldn't have acted like that, but that would have been kind of disrespectful if that was the first one and the mom said, "You go ahead and take him." I wouldn't have agreed with that at all.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that. So that was the blended family squabble that I wanted to share with the community and see what people had to say about it. The next subject I wanted to talk about. Honestly, I just started researching it more within the last couple hours. I've known about it, known about the situation. We're talking about the Carmelo Anthony stabbing. He's the one who stabbed the
okay, yeah.
You know what I'm talking about?
I was thinking the other one, Carmelo.
Well, his name, I think he named after Carmelo, obviously.
Yeah.
But so I got a quick video to watch about that to get people caught up on what actually happened, and then we can go from there.
Tonight, 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony, who was charged with first-degree murder in the fatal stabbing of a teen at a track meet earlier this month, is out on bond. A judge today reducing the teen's $1 million bond to $250,000 at the request of the defense.
I feel it's fair. Bond, as the judge said, is not supposed to be an instrument of oppression. It's not supposed to keep people in jail. It's not supposed to punish.
Anthony's father testifying that his son does not have a passport and that he would be surrounded by friends and family who would keep him accountable ahead of the trial.
The judge has made her call, and we look forward to continuing the process and looking forward to reviewing all the facts of the case.
The lower bond comes amidst rising tensions in the community after the stabbing during a high school track meet on April 2nd that led to the death of Austin Metcalf.
End result, he stabbed my son in the heart and killed him. That's what it was over.
According to the arrest report, a witness told police Metcalf asked Anthony, who attends a different high school, to move to his own school's tent at the meet. Anthony then told Metcalf, "Touch me and see what happens," according to a witness. And later, Metcalf grabbed Anthony to tell him to move. Metcalf's father, Jeff Metcalf, telling our NBC station in Dallas, his son died in his twin brother's arms after he was stabbed.
I will never be the same.
Anthony telling a responding officer at the scene, "I was protecting myself before being questioned," according to the arrest report. Later saying in the police report, "I'm not alleged, I did it," in response to the officer referring to him as an alleged suspect. Since the stabbing, tensions over race have surfaced, leading to meetings between activists and officials. An online fund for Anthony raising more than $400,000 for his defense. The nonprofit civil rights group Next Generation Action Network demanding protection for Anthony's family after claims their home address was leaked online.
We have saw so many different hateful images. Just hateful things.
This weekend, Austin Metcalf, who family described as a scholar, leader, and star athlete, was laid to rest. Tonight, two families' lives change forever as this case moves forward.
This is a terrible tragedy for our entire, not just Frisco, but Collin County community. One family has suffered a permanent loss. It's the most unnatural thing for a parent to lose their child. It's permanent. It's profound, it's certainly premature, and it's the hardest thing that I think a human being can go through.
So, George, what else do we know about the condition of this teen's release?
Yeah, Tom, he'll be under house arrest and also have to wear an ankle monitor and check in with the bailiff every single Friday. Now, today's attorney saying this investigation is still far from over, as there's still many questions left to be answered, including why the teen may have had a knife on him in the first place. Tom?
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories.
All right, so that's a little synopsis of what happened. To me, I can see myself being Carmelo. I remember growing up as a kid, I used to carry a box cutter with me to school every day, every single day. And that's only because I couldn't get a hold of a gun. If I could have, I would have took a gun to school with me. Yeah, I would have, because I lived in South Philly, but I was never in South Philly. I used to be in West Philly, North Philly. I used to be all over. And so the box cutter was just like my something to have on me to have protection. And so who knows if that could have been me, you know? I don't know. Obviously, I don't know the background of Carmelo enough to know, or either one of these kids to know exactly and I don't know what happened, you know? So I can't speak to the character that much, but I do know Carmelo was a straight A student. So I can't see him being a hoodlum and out here on the streets and a problem child, because I've heard people saying that he was a problem child and he got suspended for this. I honestly, I don't know. I didn't research any of that to date, but I know his father said in court when he got out that he was a straight A student. So that to me doesn't say problem child. I don't see you being a problem child and get straight A's. I just don't see it happening. The other things that I've noticed is the conservative community being very upset about his GoFundMe, that people raised $400,000 for it. Oh yeah, the same conservative community that had that raised the money for Kyle Rittenhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, over $1 million for him or whatever it was. Whatever it was a lot of money, and he killed 2 people with an AR-15. No problem there. That wasn't a problem.
And he went to where it was. He went to it.
Yeah.
It didn't come to him. He went to it.
He went to it. Yeah, he went to it. So that's what I know off the bat. So what do you think about it so far?
Yeah, and again, I'm just gonna say I don't know much about the case, but if the story lies, well, he was in a place that they didn't want him to be in. Okay, all right, that ain't against the law. You know, you at a tent at a track meet. You know, teenagers are teenagers, right? But the person assaulted. If the person grabbed him first, and he even said, "See what happens."
Yeah,
they grabbed him like, okay, we're gonna, you know. So they grabbed him, so they assaulted him, and he protected himself. Again, we've seen the story 1,000 times on the flip side, where the aggressor supposed is the African American, and then they touched me, and then they shot him dead. I was standing my ground, and I protected myself. So again, just knowing the surface stuff about the case, somebody touched him. He even told him don't mess with him, and then the repercussions. And again, it's going to spin out of control because it's race, right? Yeah. Black person and a white person. Yeah.
And that's what I think it is now. I think if it was 2 white people, it wouldn't have been made national news. If it was 2 black kids, it wouldn't have made national news. It's because it was black and white. And I would even go to say that if it was a white kid doing it to a black kid, it probably wouldn't have made much national news. Right. Maybe, you know.
Yeah.
But I wonder why Carmelo felt that he needed to have a knife with him.
Yeah,
that's the bottom line. You know, why did he feel that? And I believe this was their first altercation, so I don't think they knew each other or anything like that.
Right.
But he probably thought, hey, if I go to this track meet with these kids, you know, they don't really like black people like that.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
I just thought about Ethan for a second, because like, if you don't think racism still exists, ask this kid why he's still, why is he carrying a knife? You know, possibly.
Yeah.
So it's tragic. I feel obviously for the parents that lost their son. I feel for Carmelo that he had to go through all of this. That he had to, he did what he thought he had to do at the time. And now he's going to pay for the rest of his life. Hopefully, if he's guilty, he's got to go to jail. If it is true self-defense, then hopefully justice serve itself in that way.
Yeah. And then you have to get the witnesses, all the state, like everybody who saw it. But according to what they just said, on there, he grabbed him, right? He grabbed him. And then I think somebody is commenting that the boy was like bigger than him or whatever. So again, and then it goes back to like, you're at a track meet, you know, he was competing. What did they say? What he was doing? He was
I don't know if he was. They said I got another a report I could have played, but he was a straight A student. He was the captain of the football and the track team.
Okay, so he was competing. So they all going around mingling. You know how kids are. You know, watch my daughter. You know, on the track meet, they're going around, they socializing or whatever with the different schools. But why? And again, he got a knife. He ready to protect himself. So maybe he knew something that was untoward. So I don't know. Yeah, and hopefully all that'll come out in the trial. I'm happy that they reduced his bail, because to me, for the bail to be $1 million is just come on now. That was extraordinary. That was just extraordinary. Especially if he's a straight A student and never. I know he didn't have a criminal record either, so he's never gotten in any trouble before. And we're gonna make his bail $1 million off of an incident, like you said. It wasn't like him robbing somebody and did this, or him asking for it or anything like that. It was an unfortunate situation that shouldn't have happened. But all right, we have Vanessa. Welcome to the couch once again, Vanessa. How you doing today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. So we got 2 subjects that we talked about so far. I don't know if you've seen the first one on the bio, the blended family squabble, and as well as the Carmelo Anthony stabbing. You're on the couch. What made you click the link?
Because my alarm clock went off to go log into Bobby's show, but I'm a little late.
Appreciate that.
No, honestly, I took a cursory glance at what was going on with the sports stuff. I saw it, but I had absolutely no time to even investigate that today, or I guess it happened the other day. But I very little about it. I could not tell you. Normally, I'm tuned into that stuff, but it has not been that kind of week. So I know that's what you were just talking about. I don't want to interrupt.
No, you're fine. So last week we can talk about the first one too, because I want to play that again, because I want more people that as they come on, because it takes time for people to get on. I want to play the video of the father who seen the bonus dad getting his son a haircut, and he went off. I'll play that again right now. Did you see that one?
I haven't seen the video you're speaking of, but that's literally what I'm going through right now, so I'm here for it.
Really? All right, so let's go through it, and then and we're gonna sit on the couch and we're gonna talk about it, because that was last week's episode, was blended families. So here we go. We're gonna talk about it. Now let's watch the video first.
Your boy.
Should I say all boys?
Ain't not shit. That's my motherfucking son. That's my motherfucking son. You don't got no business. Hey, barbershop. I told you that. I told you that shit. I told you that shit. I told you that shit. It's your first time.
Hey, let me go ahead and call this mama real quick, and we gonna get you to the bottom of it.
All right, you go ahead and do that. And she better say the right shit, because if she don't, I'm about to get the swinging in there. I'm God. Yo, whatever. Yo, whatever.
I'm trying to poke you.
Yo. Ass not answering the phone, huh? Ass probably well like that ass.
Hey, bro.
Man,
like I told you,
get him out your phone.
That's not your motherfucking son. That's my motherfucking son. This one be hustling so motherfucking bad. This one be hustling so bad. Well, you don't even got to see out.
Hey, bro, you going to them? Hey, bro.
Hey, she said I answered the phone, huh?
Hey, bro, all right. I'm really sure you're going
yeah, all right. Oh, out here.
Hey, like I said, watch your mouth for the time.
Ain't your motherfucking son.
Hold on. Hey, Keisha. Hey, Keisha. Hey, she up here trying to take Sean with him.
Let me get a little closer.
What?
You ain't cleaning her nowhere until you pay your child support.
What? Child support? That little bitty ass shit? I can pay that shit right now on God.
Do it then.
Shit out your ass.
Hey, take that back, man.
Hey, Keisha, gonna really let this disrespect me in front of my mother, son? So fat ass?
Oh, man.
Hey, Hey, all that. Hey, I'm getting my motherfucking son. We going. Hey, Mike, I appreciate you, but I need my son. I need my son. Hey, let's wrap this shit up. I need my fucking son, man. I'm out this motherfucker. Give me my motherfucking son. Hey, don't keep my son no more. I'm gonna slap the shit out your ass. Yeah, all right. Yeah.
Come on, like, kid, man.
Yeah, all right. Let's go. All right.
Man, you letting him take him like that?
Shit out your ass.
Come on, Russell. Was you letting him take?
Hey man, it's his son. Man. I ain't trying to fight.
Yeah, this man going on sad, man.
Oof. Yeah, that's a lot. Oh, Bobby, I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right. How do you think you would have reacted as the bonus parent and as the parent on the phone that gave your child, to the bonus parent? So let's go with the bonus parent first. How do you think you would react?
As the bonus parent, the right thing to do was to call the mom and get her input. None of that needed to take place in front of the kid.
Yeah.
Period. I think, and I wouldn't have let the kid go with the dad. I'd have called the cops. Like, just straight up, you're not taking the kid out of my custody if the mom says no and she's got custody. The fact that he's not the parent puts him in a really, like, legally, that's a really sticky situation. So there's kind of nothing he could have done different, in my opinion. From what I see in the video, it looks like he took dude to get a haircut. It looks like dad is there or came up there or something. I don't know what the beginning of that video is, but if he's up there getting a haircut for his stepson or his girlfriend's kid, whatever the relationship is, that's where that kid's supposed to be.
Yeah.
If he's supposed to be with dad, then he would have been with dad. Whatever the child support custody situation is. For dad, I feel like there's a couple things going on. I feel like he's embarrassed another man is taking his son to get what he needs, a haircut. I feel like there's obviously some tension between him and mom. I don't feel like he's mad at the guy. I feel like the guy is a symbol for his family falling apart, and now he's not in his son's life, so he's taking it out on that dude. But there's obviously stuff going on between him and mom if he's not seeing the kid when he's supposed to. And it sucks because there's not a lot of recourse if you don't have a lot of money. If child support is an issue because, you can't pay it or don't have it, whatever, that stuff gets really messy. But that whole situation, none of that should have taken place in front of the kid because it doesn't make you look strong to your kid. It doesn't make you look like you're fighting for your kid. It makes you look like you're out of control. Now you're saying you're going to let him disrespect me in front of my kid while you're calling his mom a fat ass in front of the kid.
Yeah, and a hoe. And a hoe. Yeah, and a hoe.
Yeah, there's just a lot of layers to dad needs to get some help and not necessarily like maybe it's legal help. You know what I mean? Maybe it's get back in control of when you get to see your kid. And, for me, I don't care how much money my husband owed me. My kids would still be going to see him because that's about my kids and their time with their dad. At the same time, there's only so much money you're going to owe me before I start garnishing, you know what I'm saying? Or whatever. So I don't know. Like, I look at my situation. My husband cheated on me for 2 years and I kicked him out and he moved in with this chick. I didn't know none of it was going on. Moved right in with her. And now my son has a room at her house, nicer than the room in my house. And this is getting gross. It's getting stupid. And he comes back from their house every weekend with new toys and new clothes and new hats and new whatever. Do it. He's a size 14, 16. He wears a size 7 fitted cap, or we can do adjustable because his big head is growing. What size shoes he wears. Go for it. Knock yourself out. Spend whatever you want to spend on this kid. Because, first of all, why do I care if more people want to be nice to my kid?
Exactly.
My relationship with my kid is what it is. It's firm. It's solid. It ain't going nowhere. So I'm not threatened by, this woman coming in and buying my kid shit. Do it. Because the first time he needs something, he ain't going to you, first of all. Second, save me the money. Shit. You know what I mean? Like, so, I mean, there's part of it is petty, but part of it is like, let's be real. If this person's not going anywhere, why make it contentious and why put my kid in the middle? So I don't know. I have a lot of nasty things to say about my husband. My son will never hear me say them. You know what I mean?
And that's exactly how it's supposed to be. That's exactly how it's supposed to be. Even to the point where you may have to become the villain.
And I am right now. Like my son wants
to eyes. Yeah. Just because kids don't need to know what they don't need to know until they're old enough to know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like my daughter's 18. She knows just about everything. And that's not because I told her. It's because this stupid girl, not my daughter, the woman, she put everything on Facebook.
Oh, wow.
Just out and blast. And that's how my daughter found out. So my daughter she's 18 years old. She's about to graduate from high school. She has not invited her dad to a single thing she's done in the last 6 months. She's not inviting him to her high school graduation. He ain't helping with college. He's doing the bare minimum he has to. And since she's 18, he don't have to do nothing for her. So he's not. And then for my son, it's bare minimum. I pay your mom what I'm supposed to pay her, but I'm always broke, as they're eating steak at a restaurant, telling my son how broke he is. And then he comes home with a new $45, Cardinals hat and new Funko Pop and new shoes and whatever. I'm broke. Your mom's bleeding me dry. Whatever. Okay. Well, I'm sorry. We're having, noodles and salad for dinner again. That's what mommy can afford. I can't afford steak. It's one of those things. It's really hard because they cheated on me. They're living together. I don't need my son to be mad about that. That's grown-up stuff.
Yeah.
But the rest, go ahead.
So Vanessa, you make a great point, and I think a lot of us are saying it, but you hit it on the nail on the head. Like all of that stuff that we don't need to expose our kids to. We have all those opinions about the exes or whatever they're doing, and let the kids be kids. Let the kids be kids. And the guy comes in, oh, you got him disrespecting me in front of my kid. Like you came in with all that negative energy. The kid was sitting there getting his haircut. You did that. Somebody said, how did he even know he was there? So it's a whole bunch of stuff to this situation. But to the point of why are you getting upset about this? And we as parents, we have to understand no matter how much our feelings are towards our ex or whoever, baby mom, baby dad, or whatever it is, we really have to be adult and restrain what we say in front of the kids, how we act, because we are forming that opinion of them, because they're gonna learn. And you said your daughter sees it. The same thing happened with me. We don't gotta say nothing. They're gonna see. They will see. You take on the role of villain. They're like, oh, why you do that? Like, you'll see. And then it'll all come to light later on as the kid becomes more intelligent and understand adult things and how things work, because they don't understand it early. Yeah. So you had a great point there.
And they'll see the behavior too. They'll see, because who you are is who you are, and they'll see the repeat behavior. And I'll tell anybody, the best thing is true north. The true north is doing what's best for your kids. You know what I mean? And just make that your true north. And if that means that you got to go into your room and scream into your pillow, to be able to go to sleep at night, then that's what you got to do, But continue to do true north, which is what's best for your kids, and eventually it takes time, but eventually everything will work out in the way and the best for you and your kids. But just keep pushing, keep plowing away, continue to keep them away from the negativity as much as you possibly can. And because you only control you and what happens in your house. So continue to do those things, and it will work itself out. I think we go ahead. You have something to add, Vanessa, before we?
No, I was just gonna say, that's one of the things that I spend my entire day thinking about. How does this affect how is my behavior going to affect them long term? Because, there's something satisfying about a Molotov cocktail, right? But it's like, then you got to deal with the cleanup. And it's not just me dealing with the cleanup, it's my kids dealing with the cleanup. And I'm in the middle of a very nasty custody battle right now. Like, it's just, I don't even recognize the man that I'm divorcing right now. Like, he just 20 years. And I look at him, we were in court yesterday, and I'm just like, who are you? I've known this man since I was 13 years old, and we've been together 20 years. And I'm just like, he's a stranger. And everything that he says or does is about, he needs to look good. He wants to win the divorce. He wants to win therapy. He wants to win the good opinion of the kids. And I'm like, I just need this dude to wash his feet and brush his teeth and get to school on time. And, I don't care if you have new shiny stuff. Your shoes don't have holes in them. They fit your feet. My life has turned into a lot of like utility versus, necessarily like the flashy stuff. I can't buy you Nikes right now. You getting these, $40 Reeboks from Walmart, and they're going to keep your feet dry, and they're going to get you where you need to go. And that's how it is right now. You want Nikes, we got to wait for Christmas or your birthday or something. I got to save up for that right now. Whereas, he's 12. So that feels like neglect to him. And I'm like, no, neglect is that you went to your dad's house for 4 days and you didn't shower. Neglect is you went to your dad's house for 4 days and you ate ramen and pizza. That's nobody made you do homework. That's the kind of stuff. And that's the battle we're fighting right now. So it is about like, I have to be the parent and I have to be consistent, and I don't get to do the fun stuff like take him for a haircut, that kind of stuff. It's tough. But at the same time, under no circumstances will I be letting him know, like, I can't stand the guts of the people that he's living with when he's not with me. This woman knew that I'm on bed rest. I have a broken neck. I'm disabled. My husband is stepping out on me with her. She knows that. He knows I know. She knows I know. And now they're going to act like they're, it's the Brady Bunch over there. We got all the fun stuff. Cool. This house ain't like that. In this house, we do homework and we eat, what we can afford. And no, we don't have all the apps and all the subscriptions and whatever. We got to keep it simple, but it's really hard to fight that. So I almost get where that dad is coming from. Like, like, this is stuff I'm supposed to be giving you. It's the stuff you want, whatever. But at the same time, there's a way to handle it. There's a way not to handle it. And also, it's my kids are going through that thing where they got to learn, I don't need Nikes. I need shoes. I don't need, name brand. I need functional. And that's an adjustment that they've been spoiled to not have to deal with up until now. And my husband never had to deal with that. That's something that I grew up like that. I grew up with, no, you got these, pay less, buy 2 for $3. That's your church clothes. That, those are your church shoes. Those are your school shoes. Those are your play shoes. That's what you got. And that's kind of, I'm having to bring that back to my kids. It feels like a step back for me, because I've basically lost everything. But at the same time, I think it's something that it's kind of important for them to know functional does work, and you don't need all this fancy stuff so, it's a catch-22. I wish they didn't have to go through that, but at the same time, I'm glad that they see, there's nothing wrong with that. So I don't know. There's like a lot of little layers that video triggers. So I don't know.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta, take some steps back to go forward, and it sounds like, as bad as the situation is, you're getting negativity out your life eventually.
Hey.
So that's
I've been in a better mood since that dude moved out. So anyway.
So I want to say this too, for yourself, and for your kids actually too. Therapy is a good thing. Like I said, we talked about that last week. All my kids was in therapy. I was in therapy. So therapy is definitely a good thing. So that's good. That's good to hear. Ronnie, welcome to the couch once again. Welcome to the couch.
What up, though? What up, though?
checked in on the video. You on the couch? Sit down and you got your spot. And what you think?
I didn't catch what was the video? Just to get real.
Oh, you didn't see the
I
video?
didn't get a chance.
All right, I'll play it. This will be the last time I play it, and then we're gonna move on to a new subject.
Okay.
But I definitely wanted to hear what you would like, what you got to say for
Okay.
this. All right, hold on.
Your boy.
Should I say our boy?
Oh yeah, I saw this.
I'm gonna keep it on this.
I told you that shit.
Why you back?
I told you that shit. So first,
Wait till they come. Watch what I'm about to tell you.
are you going to do that? And she better say the right shit because she don't. I'm about to get you swinging and going. I'm God. Yeah, what up? Yo. Pass not answering the phone. Pass my thought ass.
Man, hey, get him out your face. Get him out your face.
That's my motherfucking son. That's my motherfucking. We want to be Russell. We only got to see how
Going to them. Hey,
need all this up.
Hey, she said I
I'm really showing you. Hey, Keisha. Hey, she up in here trying to take Sean with him.
Let me get it.
What? Charles, for that little ass. That shit right now. Go. Hey, Keisha gonna really let this. Hey, Keisha gonna really let front of my mother. Especially in front of my mother. Talk that ass. Hey, I'm getting my mom. Hey, Mike, I appreciate you, Mike. I need my son. Hey, this shit up. Hey, don't get my son. Hey, don't get my son. Shit up.
You don't like him.
Let's go.
Man, you gonna let him take him like that?
That's about it. So all right, man.
So I saw that the other day. I was like, what? I was like, wait a minute. Let's step back for a second. We are coming in to a scenario where the dude is already hot. We don't know why the dude hot. We just know he hot, right? In a public place, his son's getting his haircut. The new baby daddy or whoever took his son, must have taken his son to the barbershop, right? And he comes in hot. The girl and finally, they get on the phone. The baby mama's talking about something. You don't really know what the dynamics is. Something about 2 years. You don't know, but you really don't know. But my question to the whole thing was like, how did dad know that his son was at that particular barbershop? You feel what I mean?
That was one of the questions. Yes, somebody probably says something.
I posted that.
Well, that was you. That was you. Okay.
So I was like, how did the dad know to be at this point? So I flipped it. Right. I said, well, let's look at it in a different point of view or perspective. It could be the girl being messy. You know what I'm saying? She could have been messy. I done told you such need a haircut. Dan or whoever the hell took him up to the jank. You know what I'm saying? That's what I got to do but you don't know you don't really know the dynamics between the dad and the baby mama. You don't know.
That's true.
I done seen it all. I done seen where.
And I'm sure you have.
I done seen where the girl would turn all that around just to see what the reaction would be from the both of them, bro, and laugh about it.
But I gotta look at it just to what was said.
Yeah.
When she talked about, I told you for the last 2 years he stepped up and this, that, and the other. The father didn't dispute that. He didn't say, I'm there, I'm always there, I'm picking him up for this, I'm picking him up for that. When he said, you gonna let this man disrespect me, bring my son to get a haircut. He ain't say you called me and told me to come get me. I mean, like I think that came out that this is how I know he came. You know what I mean? That I'm here is because she called me. Like he better clear it up. He was like, she better clear it. So that tells me he wasn't communicating with her about the situation, because he was like, yo, let me call her, and talk it out. Eddie, what you
Yeah,
got?
I like Ronnie's take on it, but I'm more in agreement with you because people do that stuff, pit people against each other, and like look here, this dude doing what you didn't do. But again, if it was all about the child, me and I probably you, Ronnie, and you, Shippy, you would just went in there and like, if it's a big deal, give me my son, and you would have walked out because that guy wasn't going to stop you from taking your kid because he wasn't ready for that smoke. Give me my son.
Nah.
And you walked out. So it was more about the bio dad trying to prove a point and embarrass old boy and punk old boy. That's what his whole thing was about. It wasn't about I'm being disrespectful. No, nobody got disrespectful until you came in. Nobody probably would even know what was going on until he came in with all that hysterics, right? So that's how I see it. But that's funny, Ronnie, what you said, because people do pit people against each other just to prove a point, though.
But yeah, and I had some other things, and I was thinking about because like I said, I've seen the scenario play out a couple times. But stepdad did exactly what he was supposed to do, though. He kept his cool. You know what I'm saying? Because had that been me, it'd have been a whole different story. I don't give it. Listen, I'd have been like, listen, bro, this your son. You take your son, you go that way. I would have had to do it that way because if not, it would have been like real bad. But the whole thing I'm trying to say is like when stepdad did what he was supposed to do, all the other people, they kind of kept them apart. You know what I'm saying? Just basically trying to shift them, trying to change the subject. But again, you don't know what transpired before this video started. The video didn't start with him yelling. Something happened transpired prior to that video. Before he blew, I'm sure he ain't just walk in that store and I don't think it happened that way. It was something probably transpired. He probably walked in like we would normally do and be like, yo, let me get my son, bro. You know what I'm saying? He probably, the stepdad was like, hold on, I just got to call old girl. I'm like, you ain't got to call nobody. It's a rap. I'd be like, it'd have been a rap at that point. You know what I'm saying? She can call me. You don't got to call on my behalf, on my behest. But you have zero capacity here at zero. you understand what I mean? So that's what I was trying to look at. I just tried to flip it. I tried to flip it and look at somebody else's perspective on it. I'm like, man, this kind of looked like a setup to me because there ain't no way that the dude just gonna show up at the barbershop at that particular time. Somebody either told him or she said something about it.
Yeah, and that's what I said. Probably somebody. It could have been somebody in the barbershop told him. You know what I mean? It could have been his normal barber or the same barbershop that the old boy normally go to, and he probably was up there talking shit about I bring my son to get haircuts. So he probably got a son a haircut before and stuff like that. So this was like somebody was being messy somewhere to let him know, and he went up there hot. You know what I mean? We adding Holly to the couch. Welcome to the couch, Holly. I think you've seen a video a few times now. Your seat is warm. The couch is yours. Go ahead.
Yeah, I did. I saw it both times, but that was disturbing to watch on so many levels, mostly from the child's perspective, to sit there and watch two men who obviously have a great deal of care and love for him. The one stepfather, whoever he was, brought him in there to get a haircut. So obviously he got a relationship with him. The mother has allowed him to do so. And then to have his biological father come in there and behave in that manner. There's some layers to this somewhere. He didn't just come in there. They've had beef in the past. This is not new. This is not something that just started at the barbershop. So I don't know who's the messy one in the whole dynamic of these relationships, but for that, it was bad on both parts. Because now the child is torn. I can only imagine they're trying to figure out who, when, why, where, what's going on. You know what I mean? So it was just bad on both parts. That was tough to watch.
What do you mean? I guess because I don't think from what I've seen, he didn't. All right, the dude did throw a shot. What do you mean by our son? He definitely threw a little something there that he should have left alone. He shouldn't have said that. But other than that, the father came in there, well, at least from what we've seen from the video, the father was blazing. He being disrespectful to not only to the man, but he being disrespectful to the boy's mom. He getting all up in the man's face, like he itching and wanting to fight. To me, I don't think the dude, other than saying, you mean our son, to throw that
Well, yeah,
little
that
baby
was a
shot at him.
dig. That was
Other
a
than,
dig, and he saw
yeah,
he was already
other
on
than
10.
that,
He was already on 10.
yeah, he was already on 10. He was
That was
already
a
on
straight
10.
dig.
But I don't think that changed the conversation any. Like, I think old boy would have went off like that regardless of that dig or not, you know.
You may be right. It was
Um,
just it was just hard to watch. It really was. Just knowing that child, I don't know how old was the child. You know, if it was maybe a teenager, you can maybe, but if he like 6, 7,
no,
8, 9 years old,
he looked about 3
oh,
or
he
4
was
maybe.
younger than that. I
Maybe,
didn't see the child,
yeah,
but that
yeah,
just was
he
hard
was
to
in there.
watch for both parties. I think the biological father definitely was the aggressor in the situation and made it worse, but I don't think him the other guy was trying to de-escalate it either. I mean, he called the mother, but
I think he de-escalated as much as he possibly could
That's what
because
I say.
if you would have caught me on the right day, I would have had to knock
and see, that's my
knock
thing.
the
I
teeth
think
out.
he probably,
I mean, that's
you're
what I'm
right.
saying.
You're
Like,
right. He handled it very well. He did.
Yeah, that's what I
He
said.
did.
as best as he possibly
Yeah,
could have,
yeah,
because he up in his face, he talking. I mean, he talking like I'm a point. Like why he in his
yeah,
face? He talking about his girl and saying his girl is out there doing something else, like disrespecting his
yeah,
woman. Like he took
yeah,
all the
yeah, he
arrows,
did.
and then he threw that one jab. He did throw one little quick
Yeah.
jab, but he took all because it would honestly depend on the day on if I would have had to whoop this dude ass.
Yeah.
I would have asked him to step on outside
Yeah.
first. Like, I don't want to do it in front of your son.
Hey, listen.
Step outside.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Step
looking at it
outside.
from that perspective, you're right.
Y'all
Yeah.
know little young
Step
Ice boy.
outside.
You know little, y'all know
Yeah,
young
that's what
Ice.
I'm saying.
It would have
Like,
been over. Cause
That was
listen,
ugly. That was ugly. That was
listen.
ugly. It was really ugly to watch. It was.
Yeah, it was crazy.
I want you to think about that in the perspective of your bonus son, and that would have happened to you in the barbershop. I mean, in the barbershop. What would you have done? Like you personally, what do you think you would have
Yeah, I
done?
probably would have.
And stepdad. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
Could you have handled it any better than he did? I'm honest to God. What would you have done?
Well, it depends. It depends. If that was the 20, 30-year-old Holly, we'd have been probably in there fighting. The 55-year-old
Yeah.
Holly, probably not. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, come on.
I agree.
Let's keep it cute. You know,
The
we ain't gotta go
54-year-old Holly
there.
would have been out there doing her thing.
Yeah, the 20,
That just
30-year-old Holly would have been out there backing the daggone donkey. No doubt, for sure. So yeah, I stand correct. You're right. He handled it like a champ. He did.
No, he was.
He
needed an award.
He took them all.
He needed an award.
He do.
Yeah.
He do.
But that's
because I honestly, I would have afterwards, after the sun would have got good and everything. I'm like, yo, me and you we got to see each other somewhere. Like for real. Like, we got some business to talk about. Like I said, I acted out of character one time, and I ain't even afraid to talk about it. I went to my ex-wife's house, and I was that biological dad. I wanted to fuck him up. I ain't even gonna lie. Only thing I kept saying was step on out the house. Because I know if I go inside the house, he can just shoot me. Come on out the threshold. Just come on out the threshold, and it's on, dog. It is on. It's on like popcorn. He refused to come out that damn house. So I was the bio dad on that day. Come on out. Come on out.
But Bobby, was that the first time that y'all interacted? It had to be some history.
No, like I said, like we were talking about this earlier. I used to be he coached my kids in football. Like I was, as a dad, I always looked at it like, if you can bring value to my kid's life, that's good. That's and I ain't got no problem with it whatsoever. As long as you don't harm my kids, we good. It's Gucci. So like, he was a football coach, and I was holding the chains. You know what I mean? While he, you know what I mean? Like, and when basketball, I was the assistant coach. He was the coach. I was assistant coach. And we both, coaching together. So then it went sour. Then things happened. I started learning some things about what was going on in the house, and then it was like, all right, this dude needs his ass whipped.
Right.
So,
it was history.
And then he touched something that it was like, yo, and I was 30 something too. Like, yeah,
So then,
come
Bobby,
catch.
you're not the bio dad in that video. If you think about it for a second, right? So like that
I mean, my anger at that time was that anger. I mean, like, come on out, like
but I
Darren,
think
like
you
come. If he'd walked out the house,
but
it
I
was
think you're
on.
coming from two different places. Like the dad in the barbershop, that's shame. That's embarrassment. That's
Yeah,
a man who is
that's
not doing his
insecurity. That's
job as a
insecurity.
father, who's getting caught
Yeah.
in public in front of people he knows at the barbershop. That's shame. That man was being shamed in public because he was not doing his job as a father for 2 years, according to the phone call. This other man is filling his shoes. You've never been that dad. You've never needed someone to fill your shoes. So your anger is not the same anger. Your anger might have been, I'm assuming righteous. This man's anger was from his shame. I don't think you guys are the same at all. Like you might have been in that place ready to swing, but not for the same motivation. And I think that guy in the barbershop's motivation is the problem.
I mean, to be honest, I had to go to court to get him out of my kid's life. Like it was like that. So that's why, like my shit was serious. Like
I believe it.
It's got.
But you've never been that dad that's been missing for 2 years. You've never been that dad that needed somebody else to go get their kid a haircut. Do you know what I'm saying? That man in that barbershop was showing his ass like that because the public now knows someone else is doing his job.
Yeah, you're right.
That's a different kind of anger. It's from a different place. And like somebody doing something to your kid, that's righteous. That's justified anger. That's, he's lucky he's not buried somewhere. This dude in the barbershop is just, he's ashamed of himself and taking it out on everybody else.
Absolutely. All right, I wanted to switch subjects. Again, before I switch the subject, anybody that's watching, if you're watching on Facebook, please go to my YouTube. I put it in the comments. I'm trying to eventually migrate over to YouTube and do everything there. Please like and subscribe if you have been on there. I posted my first short yesterday, and it's already got 1,000 views because of Holly. Holly, that was all you. We got 1,000 views in the first day, so that's all you. So please go to YouTube. If you want to join the talk, come on and join the talk. I wanted to switch the subject now up to what's going on with the young man from Maryland. Well, originally from El Salvador that moved to Maryland, came in illegally, went to Maryland, got asylum to be here legally, and then was deported without any evidence that he is a gang member to be deported. So I'm just play a quick video on that. And then I want to hear what you guys got to say about that, because I think we're going down a real bad slope. We're going down a real bad slope here.
The judge wants to know what the government is doing to bring home Abrego Garcia. And today the White House doubled down.
The Democrat and media outrage over the deportation of Abrego Garcia, an MS-13 El Salvadorian illegal alien criminal who is hiding in Maryland, has been nothing short of despicable. You would think we deported a candidate for Father of the Year.
The Maryland man entered the U.S. illegally, but in 2019 was granted relief by the court from deportation. Nonetheless, he was shipped to El Salvador for allegedly being a member of the notorious MS-13 gang. Even administration lawyers admit the evidence is slim, and his deportation was a mistake. Meanwhile, the standoff is set to chill here at home in Southern California.
There's no excuse. There's no first of all, to deport somebody who was protected by their very own department and by an immigration judge. We're talking to hundreds and hundreds of people on a daily basis who are not just concerned about what's actually happening in this country in terms of what I would call just the relentless attack on the immigrant community, almost an obsession to attack the immigrant community, to deny any level of contribution.
The judge said she wants to know exactly what the White House is doing to bring home Garcia, and she told the attorneys, quote, "It is going to be 2 weeks of intense discovery."
All right. So for those who don't know, the Supreme Court voted 9-0 to bring this young man home. And the biggest issue that I have with it, and I was saying for the last 2 weeks when they first started these deportations over that, over using the Aliens Enemies Act or Enemies Alien Act, I can't remember how it's pronounced, from 17 something, 18 something. Which is ridiculous in and of itself because you need to be at war to be even to use it. Secondly, the biggest issue is due process. None of these people are given due process, and to take people, whether they are bad or not, and not give them due process is the problem to begin with. And then you shipping them off to never be seen again in America or in this prison without any due process whatsoever. And then the Supreme Court says bring them back, and you're like, ain't nothing I can do. We're going down a slippery slope. What say you, Couch?
Oh, 1000%. I mean, you really just summed it completely up. You know what I'm saying? So defy the Supreme Court. The presidents are basically defying the Supreme Court, right? So if the president can do it, then can anybody else do it? But it's really their fault, because what did they give them already? They gave him unlimited, unchecked power. They say basically you can do whatever you want. They said that. So you can't be on both sides of that fence. You can't say, do what we tell you to do, but you got all the power in the world. So which one is it? You feel what I mean? Like, because that's what, so in that sense, to me, it is a conundrum, right? Well, depending on what it is, you got to listen to us, but maybe some things like this, maybe you don't. You know what I'm saying? So is there really a leg to stand on in that sense?
They do, because there's still three equal branches of government. The problem is when it comes to our Constitution, it's really a gentleman's agreement if you really look at it, because the enforcement of the court system is the U.S. federal court system is the U.S. Marshals. The U.S. Marshals is under the executive branch. The executive branch is run by the president. So if push came to shove, the Supreme Court has no way to enforce their rules other than public opinion. Really, they have no actual army or no actual way to make the president do something that he shouldn't do. Now, in this case, I think public opinion is coming against Trump, because I've seen in the town halls and stuff like that, people are saying, hey, no due process, because at some point you gotta have it, because eventually they will come for you. Eventually they will come for you. You know?
No, 100%. I get completely where your thought process is, and that's exactly how the system is supposed to work. Not only does the president have the executive branch, which is law enforcement, he got the freaking military. What you mean? Like, so I get 100% what you're saying. However, that's where that public opinion deal comes in, because the people still run the country. You feel what I mean? So the people got to put pressure on those people that represent them in these spaces, saying, hey, y'all better get this dude checked in, or y'all gonna get up out of here. You feel what I mean? And at that point, that's how the system is supposed to work. You know what I'm saying? And then Congress, on the flip side of that, is like, oh, this dude a radical dude. We got the money. You ain't spending no money. Well, you can't go do this. Like, who gonna pay these people? No, you ain't doing that.
But they're
right.
They're not doing that.
Right.
They're not doing that at all.
That's the point I'm trying to make.
There's no checks and balances.
Right. That's what but it's supposed to be. So it's not everybody just pointed this one dude. It's not even when freaking Hitler and all these old Mussolini and all these other crazy ass people, ran these thousands, 100,000 of people. Why do these people follow them? They still did what this person did. So to me, they were all equal to me. You know what I mean? There was no this person on top. You just as evil as this person is that made the plan. To me, you feel what I mean? So if Congress is complicit, then they just as bad. You feel what I mean? That's and the Senate.
Yeah.
Now that once they do that, once they do what they're supposed to do, and eventually, I mean, they're starting to do that, because you're starting to see more Republican people starting to like backtrack out of a lot of these things. It's not a lot of them, but you only need a few. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, Lisa Murkowski said yesterday in the town hall or something she was at, an event she was at, that she's scared, and they're scared to speak out. What kind of country we're supposed to be? A country of law and order in a democratic democracy, and senators are afraid to speak out because of the retribution that will happen from the president. But this is the same man, and people were screaming about weaponization of government. And he's trying to use the weaponization of government to take away Harvard's tax exempt thing, and taking away their grants and their loan and the stuff that they get. because he don't like what they're saying. It's absolutely ridiculous, and we're going to lose eventually as we continue going down this path, and we don't step up as a country as a whole. We're going to lose it. We're going to lose. We're already losing our standing around the world. We're already losing it monetarily with the terrorist that he's doing. That sooner or later the dollar is not going to be the world reserve anymore, like it has been. And once we lose that, ladies and gentlemen, we're in trouble. We are in trouble.
The sad thing, Chip, is what do we do? We're in unprecedented times right now. The things he's doing is just like, it boggles your brain. You don't even know. Okay, so he's done this. Now what? The Supreme Court has no power. He's lawless. He just do whatever he want to do, when he want to do it, how he want to do it, and to whom he wants to do it to. And no one, Congress, the Supreme Court, nobody put any guardrails around this joker. He is just gone. So you sit and you watch, and that daggone White House press secretary, what's her name?
Baghdad Bob.
You got to get Caitlin right.
Yeah, I can't watch her. I can't watch her.
Baghdad Bob. She's horrible. She's so what she said just now was he's an MS-13 gang member. None of that is true.
Already debunked.
It's already been this started when he kicked the AP out of the Oval Office. They can't even come in and get all of this. This was a snowball. When he did that, it was like, okay, so now then he can do and say nobody's there to check him on anything he does. Not even the things that come out of his mouth that we know are wrong. This is a cult. This country is being ruled by a cult.
You're right. A minority cult.
Minority cult. It really is. And it's so sad. You mentioned the Harvard thing, with him trying to take away their tax exemption and everything. And then the things that he's doing, it's like, what do we do as a people, as a country? If the highest court in the land can't hold this man to the feet to the fire.
You have to stand up. You have to stand up. You have to make us stand. I have had people come to me and said, I shouldn't do this pod, but I'm doing it.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And because this is not the country, this is not how the country is supposed to be, So I'm gonna do it. This is a free fucking country.
Absolutely.
Come after me if you want to come after me. Same.
So
go ahead.
So the funny thing about this, I'm in a sense, I'm really glad this stuff is happening. I really am.
Yeah,
and here's why.
I am too, because we needed to touch the stove as a country. As a country, we needed to touch the stove.
Exactly. Here's why I say what I say, right? This country has been in a worse situation. We actually had a civil war, so ain't nothing worse than that, right? So the whole thing for me is Bernie. If you ever go back and listen to Bernie Sanders from the 70s, he was telling this exact game plan of how a Republican president could possibly do exactly what's going on right now. He's talked about this in the 70s. Exactly the game plan that they're doing. So it's not a people are like, oh my God, I can't believe this is happening. Yes, you can believe it. It's in the record. They've been reporting on this for decades. Right, this wasn't something that, oh my God, like the COVID thing. Off one day everything's good, next day everything is good. Shit, no, they saw this like they was talking about Holly, them big ass snowball. They saw that snowball at the top. It's like, man, you know what? In about 20 years, that snowball gonna be a damn avalanche. But instead of getting rid of the snowball, it's like, we can see what happens. Right, so this is where we are right now. Right, it's one of those clean the plate, clean the palate type deal. So once they get back control of all the things that they need to get back control of, they're going to really put guardrails in to make sure that this never happens again. Because just like they should have did it in the beginning, right? But they didn't. Right, but they weren't thinking.
They didn't think he could win again.
Right. Well,
it was lack of imagination.
Right.
It was lack of imagination thinking that he could.
Well,
it's the lack of history books.
Hold on,
it's 1933.
It can actually no, it can really actually happen, right? He won't get elected back to the White House, but it could possibly happen. He can still run as a vice president, and it.
No, he can't.
Hold on.
Hold on.
So when you get elected for president. You're not being elected vice president. Does that make sense?
Yeah, but see, it's the 12th.
Yep. So, yeah.
Like I literally looked it up.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. And he had to be vice president, you have to be eligible to be president, and he won't be eligible to be president after this next term.
Okay.
So that
So
one
let's talk about that.
and say
Let's
again.
talk about that.
What's that?
Yeah, you
The
think
fact
he's
that
not
we
trying
even
to
having
undo
this
that?
Oh, they ain't gonna be able to do anything.
Oh yeah, he's
Yeah.
trying. He's trying. I mean, he's trying just like he's trying to get rid of birthright citizenship. That I don't know if you guys
Yeah.
heard today, but they're actually going to hear the arguments on that case. That to me, that shouldn't be something.
Why?
we
Yeah,
talk
that's what I'm
about.
saying. Why are you
First time.
even listening to it? Why is that
Yeah,
even?
why
Why are we wasting time?
It's because
And
people
why are we even wasting taxpayers' dollars on this?
because people are ignorant
Mhm.
and they need to a lot of people don't understand. Like for a big majority of the country, everybody isn't news. They don't get the news on time. They don't know what the real story is. They don't, and people don't really understand that because they think it's the internet age and everybody has all the information they need. It's not. It's people still so far behind. I think I talked about this a couple weeks ago. They're so far behind. They don't even know what's really going on. Like for real.
Yeah.
Right. So that's the kind of
Yeah.
thing that's troubling to me. Right. Because you can lead those people into wherever you want to lead them into, because they may really think that, the minorities are taking over the country, or however you want to look at it. You feel what I mean? That birthright citizenship,
Yeah.
this ain't the first time they've tried to abolish that. This is several times, right? But it always
Yeah.
gets kicked back. Dumbasses, leave us alone. No, each time, right? So it's not going to ever happen. And the only people that can change the law is Congress anyway, right? But
That's an amendment, so that one got to go through the states as well.
right.
You
And it got to be
need
what, whatever it is.
two-thirds.
But but people don't panic about a lot of this stuff. All you gotta do is sit back. Yes, there's gonna be some stupid shit happening. I'm like, man, you clown ass people, right? But what are you gonna be able to do right at this instant, right, other than call your senators?
Yeah, that's all you get. And
Right.
and his poll numbers got to continue to drop. I think as he becomes more
It's gonna
unpopular,
work. Yep.
then they will have the courage, the punk ass Republicans, because that's really what they are. That's what the problem is they're punk asses. And I never thought I would say this, but I find myself rooting for China. Like them stepping them say, you know what, you want to we're the bully, and you want to try to bully me? No, we're gonna show you. Like, and it's simply because somebody has to stand up to them. Same thing with Harvard. Harvard, when you stand up to a bully, what do a bully do? They back down. That's what they do. And that's what has happened with China. What did he do? Come off of electronics and all this stuff, he's backing down already. What did he do? He realized the bond market, because China owns most of our bond, owes a couple trillion in our bonds. What are he doing? He's trying to get the bond market back, because that's really what controls this country, is the bond market, which I had to learn myself. I wanted to add, we're going to continue on the same subject, but I got this other video because this one actually made me, at first it made me think about, like, wow, man, we really detaining U.S. citizens now at the border. And then it gave me a warm and fuzzy. So I'm gonna hope you guys can figure out the warm and fuzzy as we watch this video. And let's talk about it here in a second.
Story you'll only see right here on NBC 10 Boston. A real estate attorney, an American citizen returning from Canada, says that he was detained without explanation. Thanks for staying up with us tonight. I'm Priscilla Casper.
And I'm Colton Bradford. Now, that New Hampshire man says he was traveling back from a quick family trip on Sunday when this happened. He spoke exclusively about his experience. Jericho's joining us live right now with what he had to say. Jericho?
Yeah, well, Bashir Attallah tells me that he has been a U.S. citizen for over 10 years. But on Sunday, he tells me he was not treated like a citizen at all when U.S. Customs and Border Patrol agents detained him and his wife for several hours with no explanation, all while Bashir was experiencing a medical emergency.
literally drove my car to Canada for the weekend. And on the way back, I was treated like a criminal.
An unwelcome return home for Bashir Attallah and his wife Jessica on Sunday when they say Customs and Border Patrol officers stopped them at the border between Vermont and Canada.
He asked me, exit the vehicle right now, and he reached for his gun. I said, okay, I'm exiting the vehicle. Keep your gun at your waist.
Just hours before, Attallah celebrated Palm Sunday with his family. Now he was being arrested.
They handcuffed me. They twisted my arm.
It was like a shock for me.
A real estate attorney, Attallah says he's been an American citizen for over 10 years. He immediately started questioning why he was being detained.
Even if he asks questions, they say we don't know, it's the government.
Attallah started to feel sick and requested medical attention. This report, filled out by an EMS team, determined Attallah was experiencing high blood pressure and was at risk for a stroke. They say Attallah needed further medical attention, which he refused after he says Border Patrol agents explained what they would do next.
They're definitely going to escort me to the hospital and have an officer guard me and bring me back and start from zero.
Attallah says CBP agents requested to look into his email on his phone, which he denied them access to because of attorney-client privilege.
So I had to, under duress, give him permission to look through my email, through my privileged information, and he made me write a statement signed by me saying that I gave him permission to look through the email.
After several requests, Attallah says CBP agents called his sister Celine Attallah, who is an immigration attorney.
It started with the immigrants. It's coming to us Americans, and it's gonna go after all of us.
After nearly 5 hours, Attallah says he and his wife were released. They are now pursuing legal action.
I really thought things would change after this administration, when we had Mr. Trump in office. Things would change to the better. Things actually changed to the worse.
Now, I reached out to the Department of Homeland Security and U.S.
Did
Customs
y'all
and Border
catch the
Patrol.
warm and fuzzy
They have not got
there?
back to me
Yeah,
yet,
he a
but there's still a
Trumpster.
lot of questions.
He a Trumpster. He
Yeah.
voted for Trump, and he got detained, so he got exactly what the hell he voted for.
He was of another hue. That's what you're talking about. Yeah. But he deserved that shit. And you know the funny thing is though, is that I flew. This is so funny that comes up, right? So I flew into Philly, man. I hate going to find Philly now. But anyway, I flew into Philly, and we was coming back from Cancun, and so you go through customs, right? And this is when I'm still active duty, right? Come through customs. And it was a brother too, man. It was a brother that did this shit to me. I pissed me off too. So I get to customs, I give him my stuff, and I give him all my information. And I gave him my passport too. And he looked at me, and he had my military ID too. He's like, looked at me, and he's like, we gonna have to go to this other place to talk. I'm like, okay, shit, what's happening? He's like, your passport's been reported stolen. I'm like, what? How? It's always been in my possession, right? Like, when did this report stolen? He's like, oh, this happened back in this happened when I was back in Japan, right? And I'm like, nope, never got stolen. This is right here in my possession. Like, it doesn't make any sense. He's like, oh, we're gonna have to confiscate this. But I sat there, man. It took about 2.5 hours, man, to go through that whole process. It was crazy. Yeah. So I could just imagine.
And you had ID, you had military ID, you had your driver's license.
I had all that stuff, bro. They went through everything. So I can just imagine what these people are going through. And it's good that those supporters are actually starting to feel it. A lot of people had already been feeling the pain anyway, right? But it needs to be more widely viewed, instead of just one sector of people that are the brown skinned people, whatever you want to call it, Mexicans, or however you want to call it, right? That us or whoever getting detained for all this stuff. But it's not just us. People don't realize that. They just pointed to us so it can make it seem like it's just pointed to us. It's not. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, you gotta be real.
Yeah, it's not.
Be real careful with this media, bro. And his sister so happened to be an immigration lawyer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I just thought it just gave me a warm and fuzzy because he fucked around and found out. He didn't think he was another. He didn't think and he's from Lebanon.
Oh wow.
But he didn't think he was another. Bruh, you're another. Yep. You are. They just ain't come for you today. They came for you tomorrow.
Exactly.
but they came for you.
Yeah, that's pretty. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
sad
so,
because
all
now
right.
you're at a point, you know, to Ronnie's point, you know, I'm not leaving the country no time soon. And I like to go to Cancun. That's like my happy place. But I am not leaving the country
Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
no time soon.
I'm not gonna let him and his goons stop me from doing anything I'm going to do. I'm leaving the country. I'll come back. I'm just not. I'm just not, and I'm gonna just fight it if I have to fight it. I have to live my life, and I have to do what I know I'm legally allowed to do.
Understood.
And if you stop yourself from doing those things, you let them win.
Yeah. Well, they gonna have to win with
You
me
let
because I ain't getting determined.
Hey, Bobby, just let us know where you're gonna be at, bro.
Yeah. Make sure you come and do a
You know,
podcast. We gotta come and get you out of there or something. I don't know, but for me, I am not.
just bring my equipment to the jail cell.
We gonna be your character witnesses. We like, we know him. We know him.
Yeah, exactly.
I just hope they don't go through my Facebook feed because I'm gonna be in trouble. They ain't gonna never let me back in.
Hey, shit, they waiting for you to leave the country. They like, yeah, on the move.
Yeah, already flagged. Already, that's why exactly I'm like, I'm already flagged. I ain't going nowhere.
Right.
I know I'm flagged.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? No, but I'm not doing it, bro. We canceled a trip, bro. Like canceled. Like, man, I'm not doing that shit.
Really?
Hell yeah. Dude,
Really?
the first thing it's not, people don't realize that the places you go to aren't friendly to you either, man. Like they do the same things that they do to their citizens when you go there. I'm like, I'm not even about to put myself, because I know me, bro. Y'all already, I ain't changed. Me, like I'll be mad in the motherfucker. I'll best rather be in some Venezuelan jail and shit. Fucking with me, right? So I'm like, nah, I ain't gonna even put myself in that situation, bro.
Me neither.
I know
All
how
right, so Holly and Ronnie said that they wouldn't travel. Vanessa, if you could, would you travel abroad right now?
I think it would depend on where
She's not there.
She real
Eddie,
low.
if you could, would you
She
travel?
where she was going. She real low.
Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we got
I was
you.
saying if it would depend on whether or not I wanted to get stuck there. Like I would have to plan that real carefully because I'm not trying to get, stuck somewhere I don't speak the language with food I'm all allergic to. But at the same time, my travel problems are closer to home. My daughter's going to college, right? She got accepted into 6 colleges across the river in St. Louis. Excellent schools, internationally recognized, fantastic schools. I won't let her go to one of them because I don't want her to be a citizen of Missouri because of the laws they got right there. So, it's the stuff that I'm scared of happening, nationwide is already happening next door. And so, yeah, I would be scared to travel. I don't want to get stuck somewhere that's going to turn into that or somewhere that it already is that. And I'm using the privilege of being a tourist to avoid it, Once you're stuck, you're stuck.
That's deep. That is very deep.
And it's sad.
Easy. It is sad.
And
It is sad.
I'm not saying
It
that
is sad.
because of you, Vanessa. I'm just saying, period, that we as U.S. citizens are afraid to travel because of what our own country, not what may happen to you in somebody else's country, but what your own country may do to you on your return, or maybe get hemmed up in another country. I don't know. It's just not fair at all. It's not.
I just saw a news story a couple of weeks ago. There was a lady from Georgia, and she went out of the country with her cousins. They were it wasn't spring break. It was like right before spring break. But they went out of the country, and she had a miscarriage and came back. And when she came back, the county that she's in sent public health to her house, and she was investigated. Why did you leave? I was like, I didn't know Georgia had anti-abortion laws like that. But basically, they were trying to say she was doing abortion tourism and that she didn't really leave the country. And she had to prove that she left the country and that they stayed at a resort and look, there's the ticket from the mini golf. I mean, literally, here's my whole agenda. I didn't squeeze in a medical procedure. And I didn't know Georgia had laws like that. I thought I know they're starting up everywhere, like next door Missouri to me, but like that's the kind of stuff I'm scared of.
That has to be unconstitutional too. At least it should be. I should say that. And what happened to the conservatives actually believing in conservatism? You know, that's easy. Are you afraid to leave the country?
So, we don't have any plans right now, but I was thinking about it. I never thought about it, but yeah, it's crazy. So, you know, Ishel Puerto Rican, I don't want to be at the border control, be like, no hablo español. I don't know her. I'll get you an immigration lawyer, right? So they serious about that, right? But no. Seriously though, that we, like what Holly said, like that we got to even think about that in our own country.
Yeah.
That, you know, we got our passports, we got our, you know, military IDs, we got all this stuff, and then we got to feel unsafe about re-entering our own country. So yeah, I got to think twice about it. I ain't gonna say I wouldn't do it, but I would definitely think twice about it.
I'm not so much worried about myself as I am some of my family members. And I just leave it at that. But for me, nah, they just wanted to tell me I can't come back. I mean, I'm coming back, and then we gonna have a long talk. I find Johnny. I will dig Johnny out the grave. Goddamn it, we going to court, bro. Let's go. That's really how I feel about
See
it.
you on that plane, and see you on that plane to Venezuela, baby. So
they're gonna have to send you,
that
man.
that due process, like we hit earlier, man, is a serious deal.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Big,
It is
serious thing.
It is serious.
And people, I think that's more detrimental to a whole bunch of this stuff than anything else. You feel what I mean?
And you know what?
I think the system's gonna work though.
We've never, as a people, had due process in its sense of the word. You know what I mean?
True. That's true.
Never had due process. So now you got this coupled and layered on top of it. You know what I mean? So there's some scary times we living in.
Yeah. Somebody just said they don't care about due process, and it's true. But see, this is the thing. I think some people, even conservatives, are starting to care because eventually they can see this affecting them. I mean, because he did say, I want to see if I can send Americans over there too. You know, he's laying the groundwork to be a complete authoritarian. And there's something I didn't know, that Hitler sent people to concentration camps in Poland and stuff like that, you know, outside of the country. So it like Vanessa said, it has happened before. I want to pivot to our last topic that I wanted to talk about, which is Trump and more his blatant bigotry to black people. I wish Ethan was on here to see it so I can hear his opinion. The first one we're going to talk about is Trump's EO about the Smithsonian museums. Do you guys know anything about this so far?
Yes.
Have you heard
Is
about
that
it?
the one where, I think I heard about it.
Want to close it and change the history.
You want to put everything in it.
Wants to
you want to close all the other ones and put them in Smithsonian or something like that, right?
No, he wants to. He actually got a DEI EO over the Smithsonian and
the
women's.
over all of that stuff, didn't he?
On the board of director. Oh yeah. So it was I know what. Yeah. So you guys know. Obviously, I know the Smithsonian is.
Yeah.
Right? But go ahead and play it, bro.
All right.
After another bold move by President Trump, this time taking aim at the Smithsonian Institution. He says to restore truth and sanity to American history. Critics say he's trying to whitewash it. He's trying to whitewash Carl Willis tonight with both sides.
Smithsonian Institution, the world's largest museum, education, and research complex, and a powerful draw for visitors like Talisha
The Indian Museum, the African American Museum, the African American Museum, all the Smithsonians,
It's also the latest target of the Trump administration, and the focus of an executive order that aims to remove what the administration considers anti-American ideology. Certain narratives on the country's racial history, part of the executive order reads, over the past decade, Americans have witnessed a concerted and widespread effort to rewrite our nation's history, replacing objective facts with a distorted narrative driven by ideology rather than truth. The order also seeks to remove recognition of the achievements of trans women in the American Women's History Museum.
I feel like that's overstepping their boundaries of what the government should be open and equal to everybody.
The executive order specifically mentions the Smithsonian American Art Museum, as well as the National Museum for African American History and Culture, for having divisive race-centered ideology. This is an attempt to erase history.
It really hurts your history, because your history.
And more controversy over a separate executive order this week.
This is only the latest in a pattern of attack.
Yo, you still here?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we're back. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I don't know what's going on with my video. My videos is acting up today. But could y'all hear the videos and stuff?
Yeah, it was
listen
to, but we heard it. We got the gist of it. I had already known about this, and for me, of everything he's done since he's been in the office, I don't even think it's been 100 days yet. This was the most hurtful thing that really hit home for me, is for him to try to erase any history that was not, that minorities. When he took the Tuskegee Airmen and Colin Powell and all of those people off of these government websites, that cut deep. And that right there, if that does not tell you this man is petty, he is petty. In every sense of the word, he is petty. All of these things are personal to him. Why? Well, the good thing is he can't really close them down because they're not ran by the federal government. They're funded. They have like a $2 billion or whatever subsidy that they get from the federal government. All of these museums are free. So I am hoping that we have some people that are gonna just, hey, I would pay $10, $15, $20 to get in them, to have them remain open. I'm sure we'll have some, some donations or philanthropists or whatever that's gonna contribute to the, keeping these places open. But for the federal government, the president of our nation, to go as far as to try to erase, and just like he said, whitewash, all of that, everything that has shaped this country. Yeah, there is racism in the African American Cultural History Museum. That's what this country was built by slaves. Give me a break. And now you don't want people to know that history? I don't know if any of you have ever been to that museum or that Smithsonian. It is amazing. It is and I think why it hit me so hard, because I have gone and seen everything that's in there, and it's just the amount of detail and everything they put into that place is amazing. Every one of the Smithsonians, for that matter. And for him to go, why? What is the purpose, other than the fact that he's petty and he's a racist? And I'll get off my soapbox. But that's the one thing he did where I haven't watched really the news since then. I'll catch little glimpses of it here and there, or something to come across my phone. I'll read a little bit of an article or catch the highlights. But since then, I have not really watched the news, because I was damn near in tears when that came across the screen. That hurt me so bad. But I'll get off my soapbox on that one.
No, nothing to get off your soapbox for. Eddie, you cut your video on for this one. What you got to say, bro?
But Holly was saying, even though our history is always about the winners of the war, the Smithsonian's always been like a the elite of history, right? Again, we looked at historian, and we got the Catsy exhibit, we got all kinds of stuff there, and to throw that away and to whitewash this or just close that off to anything, what is the point? What is the point? Like she's saying, what is the point? You're already doing whatever you want to do. Like, why are you doing that too? Like, where are we going with this? What is it?
It really shows his bigotry. That's the point is that you are nothing. You are nothing. That's the point. The point is to show they are superior. And as much as I keep going back to Ethan because that's the person I can think about right now. As much as you want to act as if or not isn't a factor in our way of life is ridiculous. And that is why I don't think every Trump supporter is racist. I will never say that.
Absolutely not.
And I absolutely don't.
Yeah.
But I will say racism isn't high on their priority list when it comes to why they voted for Trump. It may be the economy number one, and then it may be healthcare, it may be voting right, it may be all voting, and all these things, and then way down here may be racism, or it may not be on their thing at all. But to allow these things, and not to allow to when you support him, you got to understand there are things that I understand you're not going to like everything, but this is but because you've heard it time and time again from people how racist the man really, how much he's a bigot, and the people that he surrounds himself from. If you just look at what he's doing objectively.
So an analogy I just thought about this because you're a music lover. It's like with R. Kelly. We love motherfucking R. Kelly music. Listen, we love it. But to play it and to understand what he is and how just us listening to that music is going to contribute to him being able to do more of that, right? Look at your face. Look at your face. You're like, damn, R. Kelly, you coming at me. You coming at me. But I want to how it is. It's like, but we really have to look at the full picture of who we support. And again, I love me some R. Kelly too, but and I feel like that's how they are. And again, I don't even think President Trump is that savvy to be doing all this. It's something else. It's something else going on. I promise you, I don't believe he's.
We can't use savvy and Trump in the same sentence.
Exactly. That's my point, Holly. So you think Trump is like, okay, get rid of this, get rid of it's more to it. It's background play.
He does do. He petty. Now, if it's petty, he is the head of it. Anything petty, he is petty.
Yes, he's petty. Yes, I will agree with that one.
You know what he's doing?
But I think he rooted in bigotry as well.
You know what that clown, all them cats are doing really is making you look over here while they gripping you over there. They know
that's true.
They know damn well they can't do nothing. For me, I already know this how it works. You can't. They not gonna be able to close the Smithsonian. They're not gonna do any of that stuff. They're not gonna be able to take any of that. They didn't put it in there. You can't take it out. You know what I'm saying? I understand that. Oh, they give them this much money. Those places aren't going anywhere. It's look over here while I'm doing all this stupid stuff that I'm really doing over here. Pay attention and follow the money. If closing the Smithsonian and all this other stuff is not making them some money, disregard it. Look at what they're doing.
Well,
they manipulate money. None of that. I'm talking about personally.
Well, they talking about closing down all these federal buildings in DC and making it like this resort area, and this is great. Like, did you hear that?
Y'all do know DC is a black city, right? You think that's really gonna happen? Like, seriously, right? So. I get that the government's out there doing their thing and what all that. That's not gonna happen. That's not gonna happen. Follow the money, and I get what you're saying.
You are right. I really.
They gonna close the Smithsonian and put hotel rooms in it.
Yeah.
Come on.
No,
Did you hear that though? Did you hear about them trying to sell off all this property up there?
Yeah, they're talking about doing that stuff over in Israel too. Like, really? You gonna take the Gaza Strip that got so much lead and bombs? You think people it'll take you 1,000 years to freaking put a building on it with all that freaking ammunition in the ground? Are you
Here's
kidding
my
me?
thing, man. There's an end goal here. What it is, I don't know.
It's
But
money. I'm telling you, it's all money.
No. Yeah, of course. You can look at that and see what he did to the
Money and
market last Friday,
Money
and
is
all the
power.
people made all that money last Friday with him manipulating
100%.
the tariffs and this, that, and the other. You know what I'm
That's
saying?
what I want to talk. Yeah, that's what I want to talk
good
about. That
stuff
Marjorie Taylor
right there,
Greene
that market thing. But here's the thing: he trying to. What is it? They closing down all these federal buildings now. The Smithsonian's got it. Those are only dropping the bucket funding from federal government. But the fact that he's just trying to snatch it away just rubs me completely the wrong way.
I'm with you, Holly.
He pulling money out of everything. But those other buildings and stuff, they have a plan. We don't know what it is, but it's something they're trying to do because they're closing down all these federal buildings and trying to, like, even my organization, I work for USDA now. So now they're talking about they just gonna have 3 hubs. And where those 3 hubs is, nobody knows right now. But the rest of the buildings, they shutting down and closing down and doing. The DC is not going to be what we know to be DC is not going to be DC anymore. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's just a really uncertainty of it is troubling.
You was in. You remember it used to be like a whole bunch of PSDs all over the place.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they consolidated them.
Yeah.
Everybody was like, "Oh my God, it's the worst thing ever! I can't believe that they're gonna take it from this, and now they're gonna put it to that." And then the funny thing is that now they still the same way, but now they're making it more efficient. Now they're putting the PSs back into the freaking place where they're supposed to be at, right? So that's similar to what these clowns are doing, but it's on a much greater scale.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
So I'm with you. I'm 100% with you. I just left those. We were up in DC 2 weeks ago for my son's school trip. It is those places are humbling to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like when you walk in there, you see you see something that's like X number of years, and you're like, what the? I have the opportunity to see this, and just to think about, I put myself like, damn, who actually wore this thing? You know what I mean? Like, that's how I put myself in there. So sure. I'm 100% with you on that stuff. That is very troubling for even the consideration. But I'm telling you, is to look over here while we're doing this crazy stuff over there. I promise.
I absolutely agree with you there, but they mean to do what they're doing on the other side too. But both sides mean something, but they make more money on the other side, obviously.
And that's just it. I'm trying to figure out what is it. What is it?
Yeah. I wanted to touch on what Eddie said because Trump actually made me stop listening to R. Kelly. He honestly did. And he got elected, and that's when I realized I used to call people the Trump fans, not Trump supporters, Trump fans, because a fan is something that, like, I'm an Eagles fan. You ain't gonna never stop me from ever being an Eagles fan. Like, I don't care how bad, but I'm able to say they suck. You're able to be a Detroit, Lions fan, but you can be able to say that they suck. So I had to realize with Trump that these people are 30% of his people are just straight up fans, and there's nothing that he can do wrong. He's just, and then it got me to thinking, like, hold on, I know R. Kelly on little girls, okay? I know this, and so I've seen the video, like, how am I still listening to him knowing that he did all of these things that he shouldn't have done? And so I stopped listening to him because of, like, I was a fan. So I completely stopped listening to him. And now that he's locked up and he ain't coming out, I started listening to him again. So I'm like, all right, I'm just putting a couple dollars on his books. That's honestly how I justify it for myself. Just being honest, sitting on the couch, I listened to him again because I ain't doing nothing but putting money on his books. He ain't getting nothing from me but a couple cents. Vanessa, you put your video back on. You got something that you want to say. Go ahead. I can't hear you. Let me see. Is that better? Go ahead. Hello. I can't hear you. We can't hear you. Can't. Okay. All right. All right. I got one more subject, and then I'm go ahead. Go ahead, bro.
I'm agreeing with you 100%. But what you just explained is the ultimate Trump fan. No matter what that cat does, somehow or some way, they're gonna follow that clown.
Yep.
Into the freaking circus. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I know that this system is going to work. It is. It's just not gonna work as fast as people think it should work. But it's going to work. But when you start seeing our major leaders starting to panic, like really, really panic, that's when you might want to start listening. But Cat still just like stay still, we good. But most people aren't gonna hear that. They're gonna see things that they see personally and be like thinking like, oh my God, this is the worst thing ever, when it's really not. It's the over here, look there, don't worry what we're doing here thing. But that's what we got to keep people focused on.
Vanessa?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay. Sorry, my headphone died. I was like, shoot. So I wanted to touch, is it Ronnie? Is that your name?
Sure. Yes.
Okay. I wanted to kind of touch on what you said. Don't pay attention to, it's kind of like the Wizard of Oz thing, right? Like, don't pay attention to what the man behind the curtain, look at all the flashy stuff over here that is culturally upsetting while we're over here messing with the infrastructure. But I think both things are intentional. And if you look at like Germany, 1933, that's where we're at. That's what they're doing. They're messing with the infrastructure while we are distracted. And those things we're distracted about they have long-term effects. There's the Smithsonian stuff. Maybe it's not going to go away, but they're already putting stuff in storage. They're already closing exhibits. So that's happening everywhere. And there's the St. Louis Art Museum just had a traveling show that was supposed to come that got canceled because it's a federally funded program. So like those things are already having like that kind of impact. That's something that, my kids don't get to see that now because it's not coming to our city. And what was it what could they have learned about somebody else's culture that they're now not going to learn? Now my kids are just going to stay basic white kids because they're not exposed to those things, which is what I think they want. So I think those things, it's not just about whitewashing in a way that seems, I don't think it's hyperbole. I think it's really happening, and I think it's already affecting people. And the Smithsonian is a big name, and we're all really worried about it because it's, that's the pinnacle. Like the Smithsonian is the truth. They catalog everything, right? You can rely on everything in that building. And so that's symbolic to go after them. But the ripple effect is not just having symbolic, impact. The other thing I was going to say was about, Bobby, what you said about Trump. What other politician on the planet has merch? That's how you know you got fans. I love Cory Booker. I love Elizabeth Warren. Jasmine Crockett is my homegirl. Where the heck is Pete Buttigieg? Like, I love all of them. You ain't gonna see me wearing their shirt.
Right.
I don't have a flag hanging out. I'm not spending hundreds of dollars on Trump socks. And my brother-in-law walked into my house one year. I kicked him out. Kicked him out on Thanksgiving. He had Trump socks, Trump hat, Trump shirt, and a Trump decal on his truck.
Oh, he wouldn't have been able to come to my house.
I kicked him out on Thanksgiving. You're not coming into my children's house like that.
He's being antagonistic at that point, coming in your house.
Right. It was 100% intentional. I said, you can go home and change, or you could take it to go plate, but you're not staying. Literally, though. But like the amount of money these people spend on merch.
That's just to let you know how fanatic people are. But no, Jasmine Crockett actually has a line of stuff that she does have.
Yeah, but it's like candles. Those are like fundraising stuff, though. That's not padding her pockets. That's like keeping her where she's at. You know what I'm saying?
You ain't never gonna be. Trump been doing this since the early '90s. You know what I mean? Like, so it's
and he's richer today than he's ever been simply because of politics.
100%.
And
that's
all the
what
stuff
I say.
that he's
Follow
doing
the
now.
money, man.
All right, I want to switch off to the last thing I want to say before we clean up. Yeah. if y'all got anything for the Clean Our Palate, I would really like for y'all to step up and let me know so we can do that as a community. But anyway, this is the last thing I want to say. Last thing I wanted to show you guys, and it's something that he is doing. Trump has done to hurt our community in Alabama, and I just wanted to share that with y'all. And then literally, it's some shit.
The U.S. Department of Justice, they ended a landmark agreement that was meant to fix long-standing sewage problems in Lowndes County, known as the Black Belt in Alabama. The decision follows a directive from the Trump administration, an executive order that bans federal agencies from supporting diversity and inclusion efforts. These idiots are declaring that this agreement is DEI. Now, folks, this takes place 30 miles from Montgomery, the state capital of Alabama, the heart of the Black Belt, where more than 500 homes in the county, 60% have failing or inefficient sewer systems. That's thousands of families, many of them Black, living with sewage in their yards or backing up into their homes. Lowndes County, 9,800 people, folks, and the county is 72.5% Black, 25.9% white. Generations have endured raw sewage in their yards, not because of poor choices, but because of poor infrastructure and government neglect. That's why the Biden administration launched an environmental justice investigation in 2021, which found that Alabama's public health officials failed to protect residents from wastewater hazards. Catherine Coleman Flowers, the CEO of the Center for Rural Enterprise and Environmental Justice. She's going to join us tomorrow to discuss this, but I'm going to discuss it right now. My panel, Dr. Omekongo Dibinga, Senior, Professorial Lecturer, School of International Service, American University, author of Lies About Black People, How to Combat Racist.
So that's it. He took away a settlement for a mostly Black district or mostly Black county to help fix their sewage and actually blamed it on DEI.
There's a petty part of it again. What?
Mhm.
Why?
Wait. Say that again. It was a settlement.
It was a settlement that happened. So it was a settlement that happened under the Biden administration. So the county and the city or the local government refused to fix the sewage problem that they had in that area. This was a predominantly Black area. The Department of Justice under Biden Civil Rights Division went in and said they're not doing it because of
DEI.
they were Black.
Oh, okay.
Because of Black folks was there. They made a settlement. They said they was going to help the people fix their sewer situation and fix it. And Trump comes in and cancels it simply because, and he literally says he cancels it because of it's a DEI initiative.
Wait, a settlement like a money settlement. He went in there and said, that don't even make sense, bro. Like I'm not saying that it didn't happen. I'm like, so you can retract the money that somebody that makes. So for me, that is a travesty, right? But that's not just on the federal government. Like, what is the state doing? That has to be something that's.
Well, the federal government had to step in because the state wasn't doing it.
Anything.
The state wasn't. The state wasn't doing anything. So the federal government came in to step in and say, "Yo, this is what has to happen." And now Trump is coming in saying, "No, we're not doing that."
Y'all can live in shit.
Or I'm not giving you the money. Or I'm not giving you the money. You just live in shit.
Right. Oh, wow.
Petty.
Literally, you just live in shit.
He's a petty person.
That is, but listen, the system is going to work. The system, and you know the funny thing is, you know what I think was going to happen if it hasn't already been like this clown. They're gonna steal so much money, and by the end of it, them cats, he's gonna pardon everybody. He's gonna pardon everybody, just like Biden did.
Absolutely, on the way out. Yeah, on the way out, he's pardoning everybody.
He's gonna do something that's never happened. He's gonna pardon himself. And there's nothing anybody can do about it because the Supreme Court already said that he can do it.
Yeah. He gonna pardon everybody for their crypto crimes and for all the money that they're making, all the insider trading. He gonna do all of that. He gonna do all of that.
Let all those cats. That's like, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
If that clown to freaking release them damn people that that messed up law enforcement, crapped in the Capitol, beat up all kind of service members and police officers, and disrespected everything. What do you think that they're going to allow themselves to get away with? You know what I mean?
Yep.
So I've been looking at this the whole time. I'm like, these cats put these blocks. These cats ain't playing. They playing chess. People not really paying attention to the game. Right? I mean, these cats are about making money. And which I don't know if y'all just saw that just pop up on your screen, but a federal judge just stated that Google is a monopoly.
Yeah, I seen that.
So you already know what's about to happen with them, right? You think that's gonna really happen with Trump in it, with Trump in his pocket? I mean, that's gonna be the test.
They're gonna pay him.
That's gonna be the test.
Yeah, they're gonna pay him. Yeah, they're gonna pay him.
I'm just appalled that he would go into the. I mean, here's my thing with the whole. This is how petty is. Why is he at? Why is he even involved in that community and them getting their sewage fixed? Why is the president? Okay, I see Biden, the federal government stepping in because it wasn't getting done. You got people living in sewage. Something needs to be done. They didn't petition, whatever the case may be. All right, we going in there. We gonna fix it. We gonna settle this. We gonna get you back in clean land and fix your community. Why is Trump even in the weeds to even be in that position to know about this, to pull money and resources from this community? How big is this community? You put this stats up there. It can't be like New York City big, is it?
It's the middle of Alabama. Of course, it's small. But then you got to go by who he's surrounded with. He's surrounded with a bunch of bigots and racists. So they're actively looking to take away from minorities and anything like that. And then on top, and then let's add insult to injury. Did you know that the Department of Justice are paying the people who literally shit on the walls in January 6th, paying them back their restitution money? Did you hear
I heard about that? Yeah.
Yes, they're literally giving them back their restitution money that they had to pay when they pleaded guilty or was found guilty. They're giving them their money back.
Listen,
we in some sad times.
I want to see you, Eddie. I want to see you, bro.
So to her question, why is he so in the weeds? That's what I was saying earlier. I was like, he ain't that savvy to be like, he don't care about all that minutia, right? Y'all know back in the day when you were working, you're like, boss, whoever your boss was, you like, what can I do to make your job better, right? You ain't letting your boss do that crazy shit. I was talking to him, the XO today, like, why the fuck you doing this shit? Like, this is not your level of shit. So,
right. And that was not his level of crap. Literally.
It's not. It's like you writing something, especially for this, like with the law firm and with Harvard, like you writing, you got bigger fish to fry. That's my thing. You got bigger fish to fry.
You sure? Or you should. You should.
Yes, absolutely. So again, it's all a game, Whatever.
That's sad. It's sad. We living in some trying times.
Yeah. All right, my good people. I think that's gonna wrap up the pod for today. Does anybody got anything good to clean their palate with today?
I do.
It's all right. There you go, Ryan.
What's up, people? What's up, great people? What's up, great people? I told y'all, my Pistons.
Oh man,
how we
lose?
Talking about the Pistons?
Yeah. Hold on. Hey, listen. Listen. I gotta start off with some Detroit stuff. But ultimately, the best thing ever for this whole week is the kids on spring break and they all gone with their parents. Woo! But yeah, that's the celebration right there, dog. But thank you again for this great, this great session of, intellectual people and their perspectives and all that stuff. Thank you guys for being so open and free to even, express yourselves amongst folk that, may think about the same or may not, being open to just listen, make your comments, not take it personally, because these type of topics definitely need to be spoken about and, collectively, reason. Hopefully, we come with some type of reason, and if we don't, eventually, in Holly's favorite words, she always told me, time to tell, right? So that's the biggest part of how we got to freaking just sit back and listen and watch, and let time do its work.
Absolutely. All right. Once again, I've got to say this before we go. Next week is the NFL draft, so I'm taking a week off. I think we all can use it. We're gonna watch the NFL draft. Starts on Thursday night, so no pod next week because of the NFL draft, but we'll be back right after that. I love y'all. Anybody that's watching, and please go to the YouTube. If you're on the YouTube, like and subscribe, because it helps the algorithm and help us to get our message out there, help us create a bigger community for everybody. Again, no pod next week because of the NFL draft. And my wife is laughing at me. She's like, how dare you? Anyway, so I love y'all, and I'll see y'all next in 2 weeks. 2 weeks.
Thanks
All
again,
right now.
Chip.
We're gonna have a bunch of topics on that one.
Yeah. We're another catch-up episode.
No doubt.
All right.
I appreciate you. Love y'all back, man.
Peace.
Later.
All right now.
Y'all have a great one.
Peace.